Welcome back to Coldfire Role-Playing Games. Today in the world of Terramentia, we're going to talk about Druids. Two different classes that we have, the Arctic Druid and Druid of the Wilds. So if you're from, say, the White Sea Range, preventing attacks from raiding winter orcs, you might be an Arctic Druid, possibly. Or maybe if you're from the Shifting Wilds up by the Sage Fortress, you could be a Druid of the Wilds where you specialize in shape-shifting instead of controlling the massive cold forces of nature. So I want to take a second to say thank you again to everyone that's supporting us leading up to our September 14th Kickstarter. We appreciate it. These are exciting times. So thank you. Let's get started with these classes and take a look at what makes them similar, both as being Druids and different as to what kind of Druids they are. So right away at level 1, we're going to see a little bit of difference between the Arctic Druid and the Druid of the Wilds. The base health for the Arctic Druid is 9 plus Vitality. For Druid of the Wilds, it is 10 plus Vitality. The Arctic Druid has a +2 to Spirit and a +2 to Mana, while the Druid of the Wilds has a +3 to Spirit. We can already see where these classes are going. The Druid of the Wilds is going to be a little bit more spirit focused, using their spirit pool for things like healing, utility, and shape-shifting. Whereas the Arctic Druid is going to kind of dip into both pools, utilizing their mana pool for damage dealing. Both classes have the free-flowing armor specialization. If wearing robes, a cloak, or a cape and no armor, add +1 to your defense. They also both pick 5 abilities or spells at level 1. For the Arctic Druid, your class attributes are Vitality and Intellect. Vitality will be used to calculate your spirit power, and Intellect will be used to calculate your willpower. This differs from the Druid of the Wilds. Their class attributes are Vitality and Wits. Vitality will be used to calculate their spirit power, and Wits will be used to calculate their willpower. The Arctic Druid at level 1 already has access to some higher damage spells, such as Ice Ray, Lightning Bolt, Crackle, Freezing Strike, and then some utility spells like Create Ice, Commune with Nature, Heal, Animalkin, and Fog Cloud. The Druid of the Wilds already at level 1 is going to focus on some of their animal forms. Some of their choices at level 1 can also be Commune with Nature, Heal, and Animalkin. In terms of damage dealers, they may choose Venom Bolt, Poison Blade, Acid Spray, or Living Vines, and then they also have the choice of Wolf form or Puma form. So although both are Druids and provide some of the same flavor and support, you can see how they're going to go about things in very different ways. One is going to command the elements of ice and lightning by their side, while the other may focus on poison and shape-shifting. At level 2, both classes get the ability One with Nature. Once per day, they may rest for 20 minutes to revitalize, gain 1 spirit or mana, and add an amount of d6 equal to their fortitude and health. Again, this is unique as not every class has access to features like this. As we move up in levels, the Arctic Druid is going to gain some abilities that help them do damage or make them more efficient when spell casting overall, such as Nature's Fury 1. Each time you cast a spell, gain 1 charge. After gaining 3 charges, your next spell cast is reduced by 1 mana or 1 spirit. They also have Winter Acclamation 1. Cold damage you suffer is reduced by your fortitude +6. At level 5, they already get Free Flowing 2, where Free Flowing now gives a defense bonus of 2 instead of 1. For other classes, this happens much later. As the Druid of the Wilds progresses, they're going to move into abilities such as Wild Fury 1. For 1 spirit, you may spend 1 spirit to add an additional 1d6 damage to an attack while using an animal form. They also get Communicate with Animals. Speak with 1 animal for 1 round. This spell may be channeled for up to 1 action point for up to 6 rounds. They also gain mini forms and zoology. These features help them study animals that they've come in contact with and work with their game master to use different forms in the future, besides just the ones provided in their spell and ability list. At level 7, both classes can use One with Nature now 2 times per day. This will help with their resources greatly and regaining some health outside of combat. Also, both classes at level 8 gain Druidic Sanctuary. While outdoors, you shape the land around you in a 20-foot area, filling it with fog, foliage, or trees. While inside of this area, you are concealed. Anything trying to locate you must make an awareness check at -6 versus your spirit power. Let's take a look at some mid-level spells and see how both druids have progressed. Moving into levels 5, 7, and 9 with the Arctic Druid, they're going to have the ability to gain Frozen Weapon, Winter Blast, and Invigorating Surge. They also have Control Water, but let's talk about some damage such as Chain Lightning. Electricity rapidly fires from your fingertips, dealing 2d8 plus willpower lightning damage. If the initial target is hit, roll to attack a second target within 10 feet, dealing 2d8 plus willpower lightning damage. If the second target is hit, then roll to attack a third target that has not been hit by this spell within 10 feet, dealing 1d8 plus willpower damage. They also have Charged Lightning 2. It requires them to take Charged Lightning 1, but for 1 mana, add 2d4 lightning damage to a single target of a lightning spell you are casting. In terms of utility, they gain spells such as Soothing Winds. Gentle winds swirl around you. Allies within the aura gain your spirit power and health at the start of their turn for a duration of 3 rounds. As well as Wind Gust, Regeneration, and Ice Diffusion. Ice Diffusion is an interesting one. For 2 mana, they may freeze magic spell particles when an attempt to cast a spell is being made. Dismiss a spell equal to your character level. If the spell's level is above your character's, make an Arcane Awareness check. If you succeed, the target spell is dismissed. If you fail, the target spell is not dismissed and you take damage to your health equal to the spell's level. Meanwhile, at these levels, the Druid of the Wilds is going to be looking at different forms, such as Raven form, Direwolf form, Lion form, Aquatic form, and Tiger form, all having their own benefits. They also could be looking at spells like Venom Blast, Poisoner, Wind Gust and Regeneration, Giant Falcon, and Cure Wound. Cure Wound for 3 action points and 1 spirit. Remove 1 wound counter from an ally and heal them for 2 times your spirit power. Both the Arctic Druid and the Druid of the Wilds have 2 choices at level 17 for spells. I'm going to list them. Let me know in the comments which one you think is which. We have Mass Heal, Acid Storm, Frozen Lightning Storm, and Living Lands. As usual, each class of the week is my favorite class. I've always been a huge fan of Druids. Necromancers too. I dabble, but Druids are a wonderful class that has usually a ton of roleplay opportunities and can just be great problem solvers and a ton of fun. Thank you for joining us in this week's look at the 2 Druid classes, the Arctic Druid and the Druid of the Wilds. These classes are a part of the 18 core classes in the core rulebook that will be in our Kickstarter September 14th. We are also working on a few more classes for different Kickstarter tiers and packages or bundles to say thank you. And they may or may not involve monks. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week in Terra Mentia.